whole point is to make somebody feel loved, feel appreciated.
The crunchy chip. That is the 8th love language. That is a strong love language for me. So it's active service and chips.
There are more returns when you're being altruistic than when you're being selfish.
That kind of explicit words of affirmation can be great, as well as the like your butt looks hot today kind of stuff. Satan, does he care about words of affirmation?
Yeah, all gods do. Absolutely. And gifts. But you know what? Honestly, he's pretty emotionally available.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's Satan.
Welcome to the People Fuss podcast. I am Carrie Prince.
And I am Doug Daniel.
And we are here to discuss the fuss about people. We are talking about human connection and disconnection in life, love, and leadership, something that we think is quite necessary in our times right now.
Indeed.
We are going to be talking about dating and relationships. We're going to be talking about politics. Ooh.
Just
politics.
For some levity.
Yeah. Yeah, just because it's so fun. I love talking politics, actually. It's one of our favorite things to do.
It's true.
Speaking of levity, hopefully there's some humor in here. I mean, we have a great sense of humor.
I always laugh at my jokes.
He does. I laugh at them, too, even when I don't want to. That was the thing.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about business and leadership stuff because I am super nerdy about it, and he humors me. And let's just get right into it. Douglas, what's the topic for the day?
Well, the topic for the day is the 5 love languages. But we're not going to just kind of do the same old with the 5 love languages. We're kind of going to update them a little bit, talk about them in the context of our own relationship. But then given Carrie's expertise in coaching, date coaching, but also leadership coaching, she's going to talk a little bit about how to apply them in a non-romantic, platonic, if you will, context or setting.
Yeah, and give him a little modern update.
Yeah. And then at the end, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I got some index cards here, got some names on there, and we're going to shoot the shit about love languages and these names.
Doug made a game. He's excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get to play along with us. Okay, so let's kick things off. Here's the thing. Doug has heard me talk about love languages for so long, he pretty much knows what they are at this point. So I'm going to have you introduce where they came from, what the 5 languages are in the original context, and also like kind of how the framework's used.
Yes. Well, the framework is rather ancient. It was printed for the first time in a manuscript way back in 1992.
92? We were 7.
I know. By Dr. Gary Chapman.
Oh, Gary.
And the book, guess what it was called? It was called The 5 Love Languages.
Amazing.
Yes. Very quickly, the 5 love languages are, let's see if I can do it without looking at the notes.
Okay.
Words of affirmation.
Yes, sir.
Quality time.
Uh-huh.
Gifts.
Yep.
Acts of service.
I can't do them.
And touch.
Good job.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. Yes. So what's the thing about the framework? Like, how do people usually use it?
Right. So it's I mean, everybody has their own love language, right? But the whole point of this framework is so that you understand your relationship with other people. And so what that means is you're speaking their love language, right? The whole point is to make somebody feel loved, feel appreciated, feel just liked if you're in a work setting, you know? So you kind of figure out what their love language is, and then you start talking in their language.
That's right. And there's something to be said that this is not a hugely scientific proven framework. It really is just a tool. There's nothing about this framework that truly like predicts happiness. Like I had clients over the years say like, I want to know what their love languages are. That's sort of nonsense. I think the only thing we know for sure is that if somebody has a great need, so if someone like really has one of the languages as one of their top needs in a relationship and that is not fulfilled, obviously there's a disconnect there.
Breaking news.
That's not good.
Scientists discover that if a partner does not make their partner happy, their partner is unhappy.
I know. So here's what's cool about this framework is that it's very measurable. Whenever I used it with clients, I thought it was really actionable and measurable, which is so hard to do in something like date coaching where you're talking about feelings and a lot of people are trying to like guess what other people are why they're doing things or whatever. But actually, if you're in a relationship with someone, or you have a not necessarily a love relationship, but any relationship with anyone, friend, family, whatever, you can actually see how you communicate with them through these 5 things. And like I said, it's measurable. So we'll get into that. So words of affirmation, Douglas, what do you think of with words of affirmation?
Well, there's the obvious one, right? The I love you.
It's a good one.
It
Classic.
is a good one. Classic I love you. Absolute classic. But there's also, compliments, specific compliments like, oh, hey, your butt looks great in those pants.
He said that to me today.
And then guess what, gentlemen? She buys more of those kind of pants. It's a win-win.
Yeah. So you can be giving compliments about what you like about someone, but a lot of the more modern interpretations too are about explicitly telling someone what you appreciate about them. So sometimes generalizations don't go as far as being more specific, because more specificity means that person really feels like you've thought about it and care. So throwing an I love you out a couple times a day is great, but if someone does something that truly honors something about like your relationship or something, saying, when you did that thing, it really made me feel like you did this, and I just so appreciate about you that you do that for me all the time, and that that's really meaningful for me. That kind of explicit words of affirmation can be great, as well as the like your butt looks hot today kind of stuff. I think that's great.
I like
too.
the cut of your jib.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
talk about a classic. My goodness.
Classic.
So words of affirmation, not necessarily about compliments, although that can be part of it. Definitely more about telling people that you love them and why and that you appreciate them.
There's another way to think of it too. It's like positive reinforcement, right? You want to reinforce positivity, encourage the same behavior. If you want to see those butts. If you want to see
butts.
If you want to see those
all the
cheeks,
butts and all the pants.
If you want to see them cheeks in those pants, make sure she knows those cheeks look good.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. I mean, words of affirmation, actually, it's great to talk about, like, at what point in the relationship these things are more meaningful. So, like, Doug and I can compliment each other's bodies in a way that doesn't feel, like, shameful. Like, if we were in the very first date, if he was like, your ass looks great in those pants, I would have a second thought about, like, what that might be true. Although my butt is not even my greatest feature, by the way. That's very sweet that you said that. But that might be true, but saying certain kinds of things too early on is not great. So this is also about like context, how much you know the person. Obviously you don't want to tell your coworker at work that their ass looks great in their jeans. Like there's absolutely context for this. And as you get deeper into a relationship, honestly, I think it takes more work to really have them hear and understand words of affirmation, I think, because it does feel throwaway after so long.
I think it's pretty safe to say that commenting on your coworker's physical appearance in any way is a no-no. Actually, I saw something really cool where a teacher was teaching like kindergarten, and she said if you're telling somebody that something that they can change within 30 seconds, like that's good. But if you tell somebody something about themselves that they can't change in 30 seconds, that's bad. So like your hair, the shape of your face, like you can't change those things in 30 seconds. But like, oh, hey, your fly's undone, that's okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think it's fine to tell someone something generic, like, you look lovely. Hi, how are you doing? Like,
sure.
I think still generalizations are welcome. I personally think that there are safe generalizations that you can say.
It's easier for you as a man.
You could get really general and be like, your energy is great.
Oh, man. You're feeling really organic today.
Really organic today. Okay. So words of affirmation, we kind of have that covered. Let's talk a little bit about acts of service.
Acts of service. I think we were discussing this the other day, and one of the things we were kind of bouncing around as an idea is that these acts of service are not something that would be considered like the baseline of a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like something that, like, if somebody's the breadwinner and, that means that the other person doesn't work as much or something along those lines. Yeah. Like, then doing the normal things of like upkeep in the house isn't necessarily an act of service, in the same way that that breadwinner doing one of those upkeep things would be an act of service, So it's really context dependent, but acts of service generally are doing something for somebody.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's something that really does take the load off of that other person. So Doug and I are pretty egalitarian, I would say, in a lot of ways. We both work and we both do stuff around the house, and we even have agreements on like certain things that we both agree to do, and then we share certain duties. So like if one day I notice that he's done like all the house chores for the day, like cleaning the cat box and cooked dinner and cleaned up after dinner and prepped coffee for the next morning, and like if he does all those things, he's going above and beyond, and it feels like an act of service for me.
In the words of Samwise Gamgee, share the load.
Nerd reference.
Yay.
Yay.
Gonna be a lot of those.
I just had a hair tickling my elbow for this whole time, and I was like, what is that? And I finally got it.
Nice.
You're welcome, everyone.
Good.
Okay. So acts of service. This is also, like you said, it's something that is a little bit above and beyond. It's not something that is a sort of normal thing. And I will say, this comes up in the context of dating quite a bit, because in heterosexual relationships, women generally really appreciate acts of service around the house, because especially if they're working women, they feel like they have more emotional labor and just task labor around the house.
Because stereotypically speaking, men have a higher threshold for mess and chaos in the house. At least I do, for sure. So whenever I see cat hair on the couch or something, I look at it as an opportunity to show Carrie that I care.
Yeah.
And so I clean that cat hair right away all the time.
Yeah, right. No, it's been a learning curve. So something funny about like early on in our relationship, and especially right before we moved in together, love languages came into play quite a bit. And then we still go back to hey, I think I'm feeling this way because I'm not really getting this from you. And I will almost always come back and say, I think that's because I'm grumpy because I'm not getting this from you. And it really does come back to a disconnect. You can kind of frame through words of affirmation and touch and acts of service and, these things that like, once you start disconnecting some of your languages, sometimes it almost makes them worse. So like if he, let's say like he doesn't do any of the house chores for like 3 days in a row, and then I start to get grumpy and then I'm like, ugh, don't touch me. And also I'm not going to tell you I love you today. Both of us get grumpier and don't want to do those things more. So it really does take effort to come back to the table.
Calling me out here.
Well, me too.
That's true.
That's cruel not to say I love you just because I'm grumpy. Anyway.
Next up, physical touch.
Yes.
An example of this that most people don't know about, actually, it's kind of one of the rarer ones in a relationship, is having sex.
Don't be so awkward about it.
No, that's actually not uncommon, but other ways of doing physical touch. Like one of the ones that most fondly for me, and one of the reasons why I think that's actually one of my love languages. When I was a kid, my mom used to, before I went to bed or as I was going to bed, would scratch my back with her fingernails. Yeah. And that was a really, really nice kind of gesture. I guess we were kind of discussing whether it was an act of service or physical touch. I guess it's
maybe a little both.
An act of physical touch.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a really nice way of saying it. Also doesn't have to be like romantic touch. Obviously we wouldn't want that to be the case in that situation.
Don't have sex with your coworkers
or your mom, I guess. Yeah. We're getting into Oedipus complexes here. No, but my mom actually did that too. We were a very touchy family when I was young, and that probably contributes to both of us valuing touch as older people. And I've told you before, like I grew up in dance world, and I was in the modern dance world as a young person for a long time, which is a very touchy environment, and it was almost a problem for me going to more into the corporate world because that's huge no at work, whereas before my work was an art space where touching was that was the job, was to lift people and touch each other. Like literally it was some of our I think I did a piece.
I should have been a modern dancer.
I literally did a piece called Touched one time.
Wow.
Faith Jensen's May. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. And it was inspired by a woman at a grocery store.
Oh, what?
An older woman at a grocery store who was very old, and a little kid ran up thinking it was their mom, and they touched the woman, and she hadn't been physically touched in so long that it like severely affected her because she was so starved for touch.
Jesus.
So it inspired this whole dance about like the power of touch. I think that's appropriate for this love language.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean but that's kind of sad in a way.
I know, like, but yeah, no, it is
lonely
sad.
Old woman breaking down because somebody hugged her or something. Jesus.
A little child. child. I know.
Well, how old was she if the child thought it was her mom?
I'll be honest. I was like 17 when I did that. So
Okay.
this is a story I'm like really drudging up from a long time ago.
Eons.
Yeah, eons. Okay, so physical touch is quite important. And here's one of the funny things. As a matchmaker and dating coach, you almost always see, especially older men, emphasize this a lot when they're single and dating because they feel they've been starved of it by their last relationship. A lot of times if they've been divorced or if they have been in a relationship where a woman was like withholding, suddenly it becomes this thing that they have to like announce to the world all the time that that physical touch is their number one love language. Ugh. And so many times I was like, bro, calm the fuck down.
Also, the one thing that's really common with that demographic is that they're just really young at heart and just want to be dating younger women because they just get along with younger women so well. Yeah,
you can tell he was.
There were some characters.
Yeah, definitely.
There were some characters.
But I used to tell people like, do not put love languages on your. I don't think you should put them on your dating profiles, and I don't think you should lead a relationship with that. I think there's other important things to talk about. You will know very quickly a few dates in if someone seems to be scared to touch you or hold your hand, and even then I would like then bring it up like further and leading with it, especially like guys that lead with like touch is my primary love language. It has this like weird pressure.
Well, it's obviously when you lead with that, there's always the sexual connotation. Like it's just
Well, and it literally is for them, right? They're saying that because they like to cuddle and have sex, right? Like they say, "No, I'm just a cuddler." I'm like, okay,
I like to cuddle after sex.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that women don't also have this as a primary language. I just found through experience that more men, especially middle-aged men, tended to like think it was really necessary to like announce it to the world all the time that this was really important to them. And what's funny is like women are pretty intuitive and they're going to see that and immediately know, oh, that's because you got burned. Like, it's not like they're just saying it for no reason. It's because they had like a little bit of trauma with it or something. And it's like, oh, that's why it's a little bit of a flag. It's not that touch might not be their primary love language. It's that it's weird when you say it right off the bat. So anyway, PSA about love languages. Moving on. Quality time, I believe, is the last one. High quality time.
Yep.
We want that high quality time.
Yep. Netflix and chill. Oh wait, that's physical touch.
Quality chill could just be sitting.
Well, the slang, the lingo with today. But quality time for me, because I'm a little bit of an introvert, could just be sitting down on the couch together and shitting on a show together or enjoying a show.
Not like
together.
Literally shitting on it.
No, but we saw.
We're not that kind of couple.
There was the poop cruise train
we
wreck.
did watch Poop Cruise. That was fun, but we can't get too distracted.
No, okay. Focus.
Yeah.
Focus on the quality time.
Focus on the quality time.
Not the poop cruise.
Not the poop cruise. No, so quality time, a more modern interpretation of this is activities together, whatever that means. And so literally an activity could be reading silently together in a room or in a house. Like you could think of it that way. Or some people are a lot more into like a physical activity together. Pickleball, sure. Yeah. I really like when we go outside the apartment and we have an experience together that like lights us up to talk about things in a different way than we talk about here. We talk like way too much about food and cats here. So it's nice to go out and like one time we went to like Japanese woodworking exhibit with our friends and I was like, wow, this is really getting us to, chat about things we've never chatted about before.
So desu ne.
Yeah. So I think quality time is really tough if you are doing long distance, obviously.
Yeah.
And, some folks, they say if this is one of their top love languages, it's a pretty simple one, but it can be really hard if you're someone like me and you kind of don't understand why you need so much time. Like, I make a lot of assumptions about how consistent our feelings are for each other. So like you could go on a 3-week vacation and this is how much of an asshole I am. I don't really like miss you necessarily, like, I'm not longing for you every day, because I have this assumption that, like, we love each other, you're going to come back, and then we'll have a great time. Like, I'm not like one to pine.
Your strength and independence is one of the favorite things about you, but man, it burned me that one time. I called her from, I think it was Iceland, and I was doing some work there, and I was just feeling really lonely, and I wanted to talk to her. And, I was telling her, I love you, I miss you, what do how do you feel? How are you doing? And she just kind of said, I think with you gone, I just I'm really realizing how much I miss being alone.
Did I say it like that?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. The thing is I didn't give you anything. You didn't have touch. You didn't have words of affirmation, because that was kind of an asshole thing to say.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I communicated quite as obvious as I am now, that I was like, I need to hear something.
You completely undersold your experience too, because you were telling in the friend chats and the family chats, he was texting all these fun pictures and talking about how cool everything was, and I was like, great, he's having a great time. No need to have long chats every day. He's in Iceland. Little did I know he's sleeping in cots with no running water, and it was miserable.
And the running water, the hot water came from a spring, so it smelled like, here we go, poop.
Back to poop.
Yep.
Lovely.
Sulfur.
Yeah. So I think that's a great example of something that came up in our relationship where we're like, oh, wow, we were super on the disconnect there.
Big misfire. But
yeah,
talked it through, and, and in hindsight, it was, again, just lack of communication on both parts, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of it gives a hint about our own love languages, at least mine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Words of affirmation.
Yep.
And physical touch.
Yeah. For words of affirmation, what are the favorite compliments I've ever given you, or appreciation sentences?
You say I have nice legs.
You do. Your legs and your butt are really good.
Yeah. I liked hearing that. And I still like hearing that. Yeah, I like that. My hair, I guess. I don't know. I'm really just kind of focused on that right now. I can't really think of anything else, because that really did. I mean, the stereotype of men being starved for compliments is so fucking true.
My mom gives you great physical compliments every time she sees you.
She does, but I am not dating your mom.
No, I know. I'm just saying, maybe, maybe I get that.
You told me I can't have sex. Don't have sex with moms.
Yeah, don't have sex with moms.
Yeah.
Nope. Not unless they're single and you're single. I mean,
go
for MILFs all you want, but just
totally.
not, yeah.
And DILFs. Don't leave those guys out.
We're talking about moms.
Okay, but, you can have sex with dads, too.
Okay, different topic.
They like physical touch, remember? But yeah, and I think the words of affirmation, that's one of the best ones to incorporate in the workplace and in a non-romantic setting.
Yeah.
Feedback, to people and stuff like that. But what about you? What are your love languages or love language?
Right. Definitely an acts of service person. And I don't value words of affirmation in the same way. I think things that are powerful for me that are said are things that are they would have to be really specific. It's so funny when I asked you about the things that I've told you that stuck with you, and you kind of thought of some physical things. I can remember thinking about things that I wanted to tell you about, why I appreciate you as a partner, which is a deep thing, if you don't want to. But I remember telling you those things because I truly was deeply thinking about how much I appreciate you as a partner. I think it's usually too when I experience shitty men in the world, and I'm like, oh my God, Doug would never say that or never do that. Or I have this oh, I'm so glad I'm not with that fucking person.
I have those same thoughts, not about men, but about women in the world too sometimes. But yeah, it's nice.
Actually, yeah, you have told me that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely an acts of service person. I think all of the other ones, it's just a slight mix here and there. I'm funky about gifts. Oh, we didn't talk about gifts.
Receiving gift. I thought we did. No, we didn't.
We totally
oh my God.
didn't.
Okay.
Receiving gifts.
Receiving gifts.
Might seem obvious, but it's not, because this is not about high value gifts. A lot of people think it's about like diamond rings and like literally buying a present and giving, but I don't think that is relevant to what's happening now. I think it's about thoughtfulness and sharing of resources. So like people that are thoughtful in what they give, whether it's high value or not, is one thing. It can be high value. For some people it is high value things, especially.
And for those people it's usually not high value because they have fuck you money.
Yeah, and there's definitely some overlap with some of the funny things there. But sharing of resources, I think, is a better way. Like whatever resources you have and how you share them. Some people are really appreciative of
that can be tough for somebody like me. I absolutely hate sharing food. I would rather buy you your own French fries than have you steal one of mine. And I've gotten better at that, but that's always been the case back in high school. You know, I'd have a Coke or something, and you guys remember backwash, you know, like, don't backwash, I don't want your backwash in my Coke, man. Friends would want a sip of my Coke, and I would just buy them a Coke.
You weren't speaking their love language as friends. No,
absolutely not. They were not speaking my love language, which is don't take a gift. I guess. I don't know.
Backwards love language. Remember that one time you ate my bag of potato chips and you're like, they're not yours, they're ours.
Yeah, one flesh, man. One flesh and one bag of potato chips.
Hypocrisy. Anyway.
I ate a lot of popsicles too.
Yeah, I'm not a huge gifts person in terms of like relationships. I do like mass gift giving whenever I want, and then not at the appropriate times. And then when it comes to like quality time, I would just be more specific about like I enjoy people that want to do activities together and then like discuss them, which actually leads me to talk about additional love languages that have kind of cropped up over the years. In 2022, there was sort of a new list of 7 languages, and some of them have overlap.
By Truity.
Yeah, I think that they were just sort of gathering data, but you can hear some of the overlap. So activity, meaning like sharing activities; appreciation, very similar to words of affirmation; emotional, which it's hard to measure. I don't like emotional love language is like someone can access you expressing deep emotion.
When you cry, I cry.
No, it's more like feeling emotionally vulnerable and that being a safe place. I think that's my interpretation of it. And then intellectual is the one I thought was really fun, because that's definitely one of my attraction factors, is being able to have deep discussions and feel appreciated. It's just very hard to measure that. So I can kind of see why it doesn't really fall into the original categories. And then
financial,
physical. Yeah. And financial, again, that should just be really like resources. And I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, yes, financial and like caring about finances together. This is more, to me, that's more like, it's not a love language.
Actually, what Carrie is trying to say to all of our listeners that have a lot of money burning a hole in their pocket, we love gifts, financial gifts.
True that. All right.
Never discourage somebody from giving you financial gifts. That's another PSA from us to you.
Yeah. And then the 2022 add-on was a practical love language, which I could see some interpretation of that. But I actually think there's an 8th love language.
Oh, I remember a practical one. When we first started dating, I went out and bought that special car oil or whatever for you.
That was an act of service.
Oh God, see, I don't know this stuff, you guys. I don't know. There's too much overlap. There's too much overlap.
There can be overlap. It definitely wasn't a gift.
It was a practical gift.
Yeah,
it's not
but
like
it was an act of service.
I didn't have to
go. I was working 14-hour days. I didn't have time to go to a store that was open and get the right oil.
Yeah.
And so you did something for me that I could have done for myself, but it was just a hardship for me to do for myself at that time. That was a really nice act of service. And see, we remember it.
It was a practical act of service.
Sure, yeah. But I was going to say, before you so rudely interrupted my 8th love language, which is chips.
Chips
are
good.
Chips are so good. I really think it's a love language. I mean, some people like corn chips. Some people like potato chips.
Kettle corn.
We made sweet potato chips today. Kettle corn? That's not a chip.
Not corn, but kettle chips. Sorry.
Kettle chips.
Yeah,
Okay, get
my
it
bad.
right.
Oh, Jesus.
It's snack food, not a chip.
I mean, finger foods. Finger foods in
No,
general.
we're on chip.
Just
chips. It's the crunchy chip. That is the 8th love language. That is a strong love language for me. So it's active service and chips.
Chips and dip.
Chips. I do like a good dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like making salsa.
Those new bitch and dips are so good.
Ooh, bitch and dip.
Bitch and dips.
It's like Stitch and Bitch.
Yeah. What?
The crochet, the groups. Like Stitch
God.
and Bitch.
I don't know what I thought you said. Oh my goodness. All right. So I think that brings us to a very special segment.
The game.
Yeah. You want to tell them how it works?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Carrie doesn't know what I've written. She has no idea what these cards say, who's on them, or what is on them, or why is on them. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so she's going to draw the cards. We're going to look at the names and together, and we encourage you to do it in your car. Yell, talk to yourself, scream at us through the radio. We're going to talk about the person's love languages and theorize how the people around them would speak that love language.
Celebrity love
to
languages.
them. Yes.
Yeah.
Not, well, public figure love languages.
Whatever. Loose term for celebrity. Okay, we ready?
Yes.
Here we go. I don't know what's coming. Here we go. Card 1. Andy Byron, Coldplay in fame.
He's the guy that was caught
So
on the kiss cam.
Right, kiss cam. Obvious is touch.
Physical touch.
Obvious. Yep. And
I'm guessing something about gifts in there too.
do you think he's the guy that on his dating profile would say that that's his primary love language?
I mean, he does seem like that kind of guy. I think anybody that's like cheating on their wife or whatever is kind of a douchey guy, and that's a douchey thing to have on your profile to say, "I want physical touch."
Yeah, that feels right. That's a good one. Okay, that was a gimme. We ready for the next one?
Yeah, I think more than anything though, he wants a meaningful connection, as long as it's recorded and publicly humiliating.
That's going deep.
Yeah.
Poor Andy.
Poor Andy.
Oh, we don't feel bad for you. Okay, next one.
Yep.
What is this? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh no.
Good old Margie.
No. Okay. I don't think she gives a shit about words of affirmation, honestly. I think I
think it's a combination of gifts and words of affirmation, right? So you say you love her while giving her a signed arm and a conspiracy.
Oh. Fair. I know. Can conspiracies be a love language?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, certainly if you believe in the same wacky conspiracy.
Totally.
Jewish space lasers and all that.
It's
changing the weather.
I feel like it's like adjacent to cult sort of something.
If you're drinking the same Kool-Aid that I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What a reference.
Margie.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, I like that combo idea. Satan. Who the love language of Satan. Well, that's a hard one because he's not human. He doesn't have Lucifer is...
No, he's a fallen angel.
He's a fallen angel,
Duh.
yeah, obviously.
But you know what? Honestly, he's pretty emotionally available.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's Satan. You know what made me think of that is the new South Park. They're coming out pretty hot with
real hot.
ripping on Trump.
Real hot.
Really
okay,
good
so
stuff.
Satan, does he care about words of affirmation?
Yeah, all gods do. Absolutely. And gifts. All deities.
The thing is he cares, but then he's never going to give it back.
Well,
it's only accepting it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
No, he has 7 different layers.
He requires acts of service. Like, you got to do shit for Satan. He's always telling people what to do.
You will be my slaves.
Yeah. Gifts.
Like sacrificial offerings and shit, you know?
Yeah, that's more of a God thing, though.
Well, you don't know. Maybe Satan wants a goat.
Yeah.
Why does God get all the goats?
I know. Ozzy Osbourne, who just died, he bit the head off a bat. Was that for Satan?
Probably.
Prince of Darkness?
He would have said that. He would have said it.
He would have said it. I don't think he would have meant it. I think it was mush on the
Bat.
Oh, I don't think Satan cares about quality time. If we were to rank, I think that's 5.
All he's got is time.
Yeah, it's all low quality.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Michael Scott. That's from The Office?
Ooh, The Office, yep.
Michael Scott. Ooh,
Michael Scott.
He would be big on words of affirmation. And gifts.
I think so. In the form of like everybody giving him a standing ovation for what he does, you know? Like he was that kind of like he just needed to be loved.
Yeah.
Needed to be liked.
He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was best if shown or said. Don't think he cared so much about quality time.
Just tell him he's the best boss ever.
Yeah. Physical touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Ooh, Alex Cooper. Woo.
You want to tell everybody who that is?
She's the biggest podcast host for women in the entire world right now.
That's right.
She hosts a show called Call Her Daddy. And I would love to hear from her what she thinks. This probably exists somewhere in the world, but I would think she's also an acts of service person. From what I know of her, which is only what's available to me, you know, in the media. It's not like I know her personally, but I would think she's an acts of service person maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think so. She probably has like a safe word of like validation or something, you know?
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Ooh, Clarence Thomas.
Ooh, controversial one.
Yeah, I guess touch? No.
I mean, have you heard or listened? There's a great podcast called Behind the Bastards, and they had an episode. I think it was a multi-part episode on Clarence Thomas, and it's based a lot on the book called Strange Justice. And Clarence Thomas is a pervert.
Yeah.
Oh my God, real big chauvinist.
So touch, yeah.
But I think also he has a pretty well-known kink of lavish gifts and plausible deniability.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
What a love language. Yeah, the gifts thing feels right for someone who's that high up and maybe a little shady. And actually, like...
No, absolutely is shady. He's been getting gifts from Republican donors for a long time.
Yeah. Ugh, gosh, these names are triggering.
I know.
Oh, and here we go, Donald Trump.
You knew it was coming.
I did.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, so love language. It's hard because...
I mean, he's, obviously a words of affirmation guy.
Yes.
He's got to be told that he's the best blank in the world or whatever, you know? Anything to do with his prowess.
I think he values quality time on the golf course.
Yeah.
I think he loves the golf course.
The quality time on the golf course is like letting him cheat, and so that he can like say
it's very high quality for him.
He shot like a 72 or something while we were bombing Iran or some shit. Like he's just Anyway,
all right.
Words of slavish affirmation from his lick spittles.
Yeah, fair enough. We're just going to keep rolling with these folks. RFK Jr.
Oh, man. I shuffled these, too. They're supposed to be a little bit mixed up, but we're getting all the good ones in a row here. We're getting
all the good ones in a row. RFK...
like Marjorie Taylor Greene, probably likes a good conspiracy talk.
Yeah.
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 And he also likes gifts, like roadkill, brainworms.
Yeah.
Methylene blue.
I would say he would definitely fall into the newer like intelligence, one that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a very large libertarian following, and they just love to talk about all the things they know that you don't know, and share the YouTube videos about it, and try and teach everyone what the YouTube scientists are saying. So I feel like he probably values conversation quite a bit.
Which is really
would
unfortunate.
Not trust the validity of it all.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because the sound of his voice
it's rough.
It's about the most grating thing.
It is really rough
in the world.
Yeah. Sometimes I do try to think about like if he didn't have so many wackadoodle things that he believed alongside what I do think is like some things that people really want to be true and want to get on board with. I get a lot about him, but like the wackadoodle things, I always think to myself, like if he was like a nice man, I think I would have more patience and grace for the voice. But because he's got these like wackadoodle things, it just amplifies. It amplifies the crazy.
He's like the saying. He personifies the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah,
because like his intent is to save us from fluoride in the water or whatever,
and prevent diabetes
and prevent
like,
all these other things,
yeah.
and prevent autism and gayness and whatever the hell else he thinks is happening. But
sperm count, get those sperm count up.
Oh, thanks, RFK. I was worried about that, and now I don't have to be worried about my sperm.
Yeah, there's like a lot of good stuff there, and then there's a lot of wackadoodle stuff. It's unfortunate.
It's mostly
Moving on.
wackadoodle, but good intentioned.
Conor McGregor, who's that? Sorry, it looks familiar. I just don't remember.
The boxer, Irish boxer, who is yoked on cocaine all the time now.
So you know his love language is drugs? I don't know.
Absolutely.
What do you think it is really?
I mean, definitely words of affirmation. He seems like a narcissist that wants to be told he's, the greatest of all time or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And because he recently sent a dick pic to somebody, Azalea Banks, I think he sent it to. So he probably, I mean, I don't know why men do this because I've never done it. But I would imagine there's two reasons why you send a dick pic. One is you have a humiliation kink and you just want to be told,
Makes sense,
your dick is small or ugly or whatever. Or you're craving affirmation, tell me my penis looks good.
Yeah.
Please.
I think there are women that give feedback that they like it and think it's hot, and guys just want you to feel turned on.
Listen, if the girl wants you to send a dick pic, boys, send the dick pic. I mean, do it. If that's what she wants, okay? And you need that explicit consent before you send the dick pic. I cannot believe that
if
this is
your
still a
language
thing.
is dick pics, please write into the show. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, Jesus. But
what have we done?
Just words, please. Just write in. Don't send any pictures.
Oh, last but not least, Ozzy Osbourne.
You brought him up earlier.
I
but,
did. I didn't know you had him down.
He's also no more.
I know.
Bit the dust.
I know. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Ozzy. I think he did enjoy quality time with his family. If I were to try and gather some of that.
Do you remember that show in the I think it was the early 2000s, the Osbournes?
Yeah, totally.
Was it just called the Osbournes? I think it was just called the Osbournes.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
It was like early reality TV celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always liked him in particular because he was like a rock star that had a committed family relationship, and I think that says something about him. Not saying whether or not, he was faithful on whatever, Sharon stuck by his side, and that says something about the guy, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely a kooky mixture there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was an acts of service person too. It seems like he would appreciate when people go out of their way to do something. That was a hard list.
It's good variety, though.
Yeah, we only had one female in there, maybe.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I'm just saying. I was.
One, two. Guys, I need to redo this list. Maybe, maybe Satan is a woman. Why does Satan have to be a man?
Luciferous. I don't know.
Lucifera.
Lucifret. Lucifretti. I don't know.
Satania.
Yeah.
Satana.
But that was actually kind of fun. You know what? It's funny too because when you think about what do these people that we only know on a certain level, how do they receive love? It's so easy for any well-known celebrity to think, oh, they like words of affirmation because we kind of have these projections on them that they need, all of that. But really in their home lives, because we saw Ozzy Osbourne in his home life, I think we were much nicer to him.
That's true. He was humanized.
Yeah.
The rest of these people are just animals.
Yeah, or cartoons.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings me to sort of our call to action. I used this framework in coaching with folks, and like I said, I found it very cool because it's measurable. You can go back to the last week, month, year with the person that you're thinking about sort of doing this audit with. Like if I was doing it with Dougie, I would think well, how many times have I said something nice to him or tell him I appreciated him or said I love you in the last week? Gosh, I can't really remember. I could go back and say how many times were we actually physically touching each other, not just sex or whatever, but touching fingers. No, we never do that. It's awkward. But just skin to skin contact, things that are really are we going out and holding hands? When we go out and we actually do hold hands while we walk, I'm like, this is so nice.
We have trouble with that though because we're about
different gaits.
We have different gaits. We're the same height, but her legs are a little bit longer than mine, so it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough to hold hands.
Yeah, I'm like a long stride fast walker.
Mm-hmm. I'm a fast walker too, but you got
shorter strides.
You got legs. You got long legs.
Yeah. So if you're doing this audit, you sort of like think back to like, well, how much quality time have we spent? And have I been thoughtful about, the things I've given this person, if that's their love language? You really want to think of it in terms of like, how does this person generally like to be loved and feel appreciated? So I want you to do that audit. But then also, if you're not in a relationship or doing something on an intimate level doesn't feel right, you can absolutely take this framework to the workplace and think about how your either coworkers, your fellow employees, your bosses, or your down team, especially like if you're a boss or a manager of any kind. Big heart for managers over here, right? Like I think management has a really like strong nerdy place in my heart. You have to think about this for your down team because their work love languages are not necessarily going to be yours. Some of your team might need to be told, good job. You know, even if the thing they did was, quote, successful, meaning whatever they did is over. Usually that's the case at work. Like you do a presentation, the presentation's over and everybody's like, great, now we know, we've delegated out the jobs. If you're their superior, going and saying that presentation you did today, you nailed it.
Yeah.
That can mean so much to someone on your down team.
The employees don't always see the net result of their work in a lot of contexts. If you're like a welder, you're going to see a great weld that you did, and that's your feedback, right? But if you're working in a more white-collar environment or doing some more abstract number crunching or whatever, it's good to get feedback from a boss that says, this one specific thing you did, man, kicked ass.
Yeah. And then when you think about quality time, like you can think about this a couple different ways when it comes to work. You can have time that is like very high quality with each other. So making sure you're not wasting your employees' time. That's one way to think of it. Or you can have more quality time with your coworkers. So if you're always just worried and stressed about the projects that you have, you're never really getting to know each other as humans. It might be good to up your like high quality time with your coworkers.
Or quality time is sending them home early.
Yeah. Giving them back some quality time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if any of that sounded pretty good to you, please forgive me while I do a little plug here because, as you could tell, she's really good at this stuff. So if you think you want some coaching either in love or leadership, check out carrieprincecoaching.com. But if you got some real trauma, go to therapy. Just go to therapy.
And you can do both at the same time.
That's
Certainly
true.
Some of my best coaching clients also had therapists.
Yeah.
So yeah, your job is to go and
trauma therapy tips, Carrie.
Yeah, coaching is really about us moving towards goals. And we use frameworks like this love languages framework to kind of like imagine putting on a set of glasses, and today we're going to put on like the 5 love languages glasses. Yes, exactly. Just like this. And we're going to like look at whatever the situation, whatever your goals are through that lens for the day and see where we can get. That's the kind of thing we would do. So that is your job, listeners, is to have a think about love languages for your intimate relationships or your friendships or your family relationships or your work relationships. You can absolutely use this framework for those as well. Doug, any last tips or tricks on the 5 love?
In the context of romance, guys, I cannot say this enough. Rack up those brownie points. It's a really easy way to make her want to speak your love language. I'm a big advocate of selfish altruism, which is basically the idea that if you do nice things, it comes back to you. And I know it sounds a little bit woo-woo. As you guys will learn, we don't do woo-woo here. This is all kind of grounded in reality.
But I appreciate you woo-woo people. I do.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway.
You're my friends. I have lots of woo-woo friends.
We do. Yeah, we both have woo-woo friends. But selfish altruism meaning like it just feels good to help people. It just feels good to be nice to people. It feels better to be nice than to be mean. And sometimes it's harder to be nice, that's for sure. But, it returns. There are more returns when you're being altruistic than when you're being selfish.
And it really does, something like this really does reconnect you. And that's what we're talking about all the time here, is things that disconnect us and things that connect us. And like I said, you can have something, you can look at something through this framework and think like, oh, wow, I feel really disconnected, and then use tools to kind of try and reconnect. So love this episode. Totally love it.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Please hit the little like button, subscribe. We are on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If not, go to YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and then
share it.
please share with a friend or family member, share with your dating coach if you have one.
Yeah.
Sharing is a great way to kind of get the word out. We really appreciate that. And we do want to engage with you and your thoughts as long as you're not being an asshole about it. Episode is a tight-knit production produced and developed by yours truly, Carrie Prince
And Doug Daniels.
This is going to be mixed and edited by the lovely Mary Wen.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Our theme song is Human Colors by Delicate Beats, and our cats' names are
Kiko and Yoshi.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.